here's a great clip from MSNBC of Senator Mark Warner and Marco Rubio. And it's always good when you're in lockstep with Marco Rubio. Neera Tanden was too.
I was intrigued by a joint statement that you and Marco Rubio put out. And it has to do with these direct energy attacks on U.S. embassy personnel, mostly in Cuba, but in other spots. And here's what you write. As the chairman and vice chairman of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, we welcome CIA Director Burns' renewed focus on these attacks. Our committee will continue to work with him and the rest of the intelligence community to better understand the technology behind the weapon responsible for these attacks. I am stopping right there, Senator Warner. This is the first time I have seen any government official under any say with definitive certainty there that this was a weapon that did this. What is this weapon?
Well, Chuck, this is an area where we are bumping against classified information, and I'm going to work with the intel community, and I give Director Burns great credit for putting this back as a primary focus. Because let's look, it's been 5 years since we've seen these incidents. We have a responsibility in 3 areas. One, to take care of the folks, intel community, DOD community, State Department, that have been affected with serious, in many cases, serious brain injuries. They need to be taken care of. Second, we need to do formal attribution about what country created these incidents. And then 3, as we said, these are attacks. We need to know what kind of technology or weapon they used. It is frankly embarrassing that we're 5 years in and we don't have more answers, and the number of individuals being affected is going up. So Marco and I, we're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to bring the same kind of bipartisan approach that Senate Intel Committee brings to every item. The good news is that we've got Director Burns, who's willing to take this on. And the good news is we have an administration, and I'm not saying who did this by any means. We've not made that formal attribution, but we've got an administration that's finally willing to call out Russia when it does bad things.
Wait, it's
well, I was just going to
Russia
say,
or Cuba or what?
Are you pretty confident? Is the intel community confident that this was a nation state behind this?
They don't know. But I'm looking at an article. So they claim that 40 U.S. government officials across multiple agencies were victims of debilitating attacks. And can anyone guess the 3 countries they named? 3 countries.
The 3 countries that did this
named.
Allegedly?
Yes.
Cuba?
Yep.
Russia?
Yep.
China?
Yep. Got them all 3, Katie. Got all 3. The 3 commies, I guess. I guess they didn't get North Korea.
Yeah.
I guess they figured.
What about Iran?
There's nobody supposed to be in North Korea. So yeah, the 3 commies, the Cold War. So think the U.S. government. This is a senator. And you're talking about, and people are talking about 9/11 truthers or conspiracy theorists. This is a senator talking about targeted weapons attacks, not in one country, in multiple countries across the globe, against dozens of U.S. government officials. I don't think that's real. I don't think this is real. I don't think this is real.
Wow, they sound like fringe lunatics.
Are these the Jewish lasers that Marjorie Taylor Greene was talking about? Because it seems very similar
adjacent,
to that. It seems at least adjacent. Like maybe they can team up on this. Could be it.
They could use the Jewish lasers to take them out.
We go to war, and we go to war over this stuff. We went to war with Iraq over stuff this credible. It's absolutely because of Liz Cheney's father, and she wanted to do it. She wants to do it again. If she had her druthers, she'd be doing it again.
We should be condemning the Republicans for not expelling Liz Cheney already.
Yes.
That's what we should be doing. Let's tweet that out. Okay, I just gotta show. Last thing I promise, but it wouldn't be prudent for me to not show this. We're talking about China. We're talking about enemies, and we gotta praise.
Oh yeah,
Queen, literal slay queen, because she has slayed a lot of people, right?
Yes.
All right, so hold on. All praise be upon her, Hillary Clinton. Ready? Whoops.
Such a continuing anxiety about upsetting the Chinese. And there are two big reasons for that. One, Henry Kissinger mentioned maybe some
Okay, first of all, I'm going to stop you right there. Never ground yourself in something Henry Kissinger said.
Especially when you proceed that with unintentional consequences.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So
unintended consequence of war down the road somewhere, but also the economic issue. And here, it's time we recognize that we need to rebuild our own supply chains, even if that requires a certain level of subsidized industrial productivity. We cannot be dependent on the Chinese market. It's not only bad for our economies, it is bad for our geopolitical strategic interests. Look at what happened with the lack of personal protective equipment or certain pharmaceutical ingredients when the pandemic
China's
hit.
Fault?
We were at the mercy of China. Well, we cannot let that continue, and we need to work together across the Atlantic to figure out how we're going to take back production. Now, will it be as low cost? Of course not. And how do we set our tax systems and other arrangements so that there are incentives for our businesses to return to Western democracies to produce things? And I would add that more and more businesses are seeing that unless they are low-cost producers of retail clothing, which probably will never come back for all the obvious reasons, but if they are producing anything more sophisticated, increasingly the Chinese government, through coercion, through unfair regulation, through enforced partnerships or royalty agreements, is slowly stealing that intellectual property anyway. So I do think that we've got to get smarter about how we deal with the economic threat. And for people who say, oh, well, that disrupts the market. China has disrupted the market. China is not a free market economy. We tried. We let them into the World Trade Organization. We sent our businesses over there. We made trade deals. They are a controlled top-down economy. You will never compete and win against them unless you take back the means of production.
Whoa. Hillary calls for taking back the means of production. I mean, this is a Marx-heavy night. We got Mark Warner, Marco Rubio, Hillary talking about the means of production. Bunch of Marxists. Am I right? Yeah. But I mean, you're really going to talk about intellectual, like IP stuff.
I know, right?
During the pandemic, and you're really going to blame it on China that we didn't provide, PPE to people. Like, we should have been paying people to stay home. And you know what? Biden, everyone's celebrating this thing about Biden saying he was going to waive the patent for COVID temporarily. But it's not the thing that other countries are demanding. And I would recommend everyone listen to Citations Needed, the Citations Needed podcast. They did a great thing about this, which is let's wait and see what this Biden decision is, because it could turn into a Yemen war thing where the Bidens celebrated the fact that we were no longer supporting the Saudi Arabia in its war against Yemen, but we were. It was just the defensive war, not the offensive. Anyway. So the point is that we should wait and see what the details are with the Biden thing and the patent.